Hey guys, welcome to Florida. Sue and Ryan here. We're working on Rusty again. No surprise, right? You might notice by something in front of me here that we're making a pretty substantial change. So Dodge, you got to back up a little bit. Well, let me back up even farther. I've always hated the brakes on this truck, always. And Dodge made from 94 to 99, 2000, somewhere in that ballpark, they had drum rear brakes and disc front brakes, and the rotors are on the back side of the bearing, so they're hard to change, they're not slip-on, single piston caliper, drum rears. In 2000-ish, they went to outboard rotors, disc rear brakes, heavier everything, and bigger everything. And then it gets real interesting because in the third generation Dodge, this is the second generation, the third generation, 2003, they went to an even bigger brake, but the same caliper. So we found on Marketplace the 354 rear end with disc brakes that we needed out of an 02. And then we found a 410 front end out of an 02 that we needed. And we re-geared the front with 355s. We installed the Yukon free spin kit, which you guys probably have already seen the other video. I don't know which order these videos will come out in. And this front end is ready to go in. What we want to talk about today is some of the challenges and also some of the reasons. So this is a rotor off the 94. You can see it goes on behind the wheel bearing, tires out here, and you press your studs through everything. So if you want to change the rotor, you got to knock the studs out, take the wheel bearing out, do all of that. This is a rotor off an 02. It slips on over the wheel bearing, so right from the start it's just easier. But one thing I want to show you is, you can see there the 02 is about a half-inch bigger in diameter than the 94, which in itself is a pretty nice upgrade. That's a little, a half inch is quite a bit in the braking world. But then we go to the 03. You see how much bigger that is? That is a massive difference in braking. So the other thing you get is this is the front caliper for the 02, 03 compared to this little dinky thing, which is a single piston caliper. You can see it's substantially bigger, a little bit bigger brake pads, just all around more braking. So what I wanted to talk about was the gotchas in this, right? Because you're going to think, I've got a second gen Dodge. There's no differences from 94 to 2002. Everything's identical. Well, you'd be wrong. When it comes to the rear end, I'm going to grab my cheat sheet here because this is substantial and I kind of want to document it. I'll also put it in the description. But when it comes to the rear end, you have what bolts up. So what actually drops right in place. The rear end fits right into the leaf springs, no problem. U-bolts go in, everything's good. Shocks go in the same place. The sway bar bolts in exactly the same. And the drive shaft bolts in exactly the same. The 02 emergency brake cables come up through and hook into the frame to the same cable as the 94 did. Done. So what needs attention? What is different? What are you going to do different? When you do the rear end, if you're going to go to the 03 upgrade, you do 03 rotors, 03 pads, 03 calipers, and caliper brackets. I've read some places where the calipers are the same and you can just get the 03 brackets. But if you need calipers anyways, just get everything for an 03. The rubber brake lines that go from the caliper to the housing on the rear end, get them for an 03. The rubber brake line that goes from the housing to the frame, get that for an 02, because an 02 will have a regular flare fitting on this end, whereas an 03 will have a bubble flare on this end, and your 94 to 99 will have a regular flare. So it's a direct bolt-in if you get the 02 rubber line. That's pretty much it on the rear end. Really straightforward. Pretty simple drop-in. The other thing you will need, which if Sue kind of pans to the back of the truck, you will need to get bigger rims. These rotors and calipers do not fit inside your 16-inch second gen rim. Requires a 17-inch or larger. We found a set of 4th gen 18-inch rims that were in really good shape for little to no money. So we did that. We bought some 18-inch tires and we're good. So let's move up front, because this is where the fun really starts in on the front end. It looks the same, right? You look at it, you're like, hey, there's no difference here. So what is the same? What bolts right in? The front drive shaft? Yes. The shocks? Yes. The track bar? Yes. The brake lines, they are the same. Now, I have aftermarket braided stainless lines. Sue can probably show you that hanging down into the drip pan there. But what I can tell, the banjo bolt on the 03 caliper is the same diameter as the banjo bolt on the 94. It's a different threads. You have to use the new banjo bolts, but it's the same diameter. So that's what's the same. What needs attention? Well, a lot like on the rear, we want to use 03 rotors, 03 pads, and 03 calipers. That gives us our large brakes. We need to get all new control arms. So these control arms right here, these are for a 02 to 03. The bolt holes are a lot bigger than the ones on the 94 to 99. We need to get all new bolts. Now, if you're getting this out of a wrecking yard and you can harvest this stuff, great. I got mine from an individual and all the control arms were cut right off of a Sawzall. So I was only to harvest some of the bolts and none of the control arms. But you can get all of that stuff on LMC, the control arms, all the bolts, caster adjusting bolts. That all boils down to somewhere around 300 bucks on LMC. Now the front end's bolted in the truck. Okay, but what about your steering? It's different. The taper in the knuckle is different on the 2002 than it is on the 94 to 99. In our case, we have the Synergy Engineering, fancy steering. I was able to, you guys don't have to move, I'll move. I was able to go to Synergy and I was able to order the 2 new tie rod ends that go into my steering and have the right taper. So the center shaft on mine is the same. If you're using stock steering, I'm not sure exactly which pieces and parts you're going to need. You're going to have to look into that. But there are different tapers and the sway bar. So somewhere, I haven't quite pinpointed this yet, but somewhere around 96, 95 and a half, 96, maybe 97, Dodge transitioned to a different sway bar. If you look here, the sway bar mount is flush with the bottom of the spring bucket and it's sideways. If you look on the 94, the sway bar bracket is way up here, about 3 inches above the coil bucket, and it's a vertical hole. Now, I don't know the best answer for you in making that work. Obviously, if you got this out of a truck, harvest the sway bar at the same time. In our case, Sue's truck has the same sway bar as this needs, and Sue's truck's getting this front end. So it's a no-brainer for us. We'll drop the 4 bolts out of the sway bar, throw it aside. We'll pull her truck in, drop the sway bar out, throw it in this truck, and then when we put that front end in Sue's truck, we'll put my sway bar back in her truck. So that's kind of the what's different, and that's what's the same. So that's what's going to let you put that front end in the truck. The other thing that I wanted to point out that I hadn't mentioned yet is master cylinder. The 94 to 99 will have a master cylinder made for drum rear brakes. You need to get a master cylinder for disc rear brakes. I personally went with the 2003 master cylinder because it's made for these calipers and everything. I figure the proportions are all the same. Because hydraulics is a finicky beast, right? You've got a piston that drives hydraulic fluid to the other 4 pistons, or 8 pistons in this case, that run the brakes. And the proportioning sizing between those two has a drastic effect on the feel of your brake pedal. So the 03 has a, I want to say 0.95 inch diameter piston in the master cylinder. The 02 has a 1.25 inch diameter piston. And my little brain has a really hard time comprehending what all that means, but Google is your friend, and Google tells me that the smaller the driven piston that's pushing the drive pistons, if you will, in this case, the smaller the master cylinder compared to the cylinders on the wheels, the more the pedal is going to feel like it's doing. You don't have as much actual horsepower going into the brakes, but the pedal is going to feel more responsive. It's going to feel tighter. It's not going to travel as far to do the same kind of stuff as what they explain. We'll see. We can always change that back to the O2 if we don't like the brakes, but we're going to start there because we've just never had brakes on this truck. So we've already got the rear end in. That was really straightforward. Like I said, super simple. Jack stands under the truck. If you've got a lift, it's way easier because you can leave the tires on the rear end, roll it out, roll the other one in. In our case, without the lift here, we have to jack stand the truck, drop the housing down on floor jacks, get the housing out, put it back in. Still very doable. The front end's slightly more tricky because it's way off balance, as you can see, sitting here on the jack stands. So you've got to get it under the truck somehow, and then you got to get it to the right angle and start hooking up your control arms. You do have to drill out the frame. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but I did mention the bolts are bigger. So you do have to drill out the frame holes on the 94 to 99 to accept the O2 front end. You have to drill the bottom hole, I believe it is, to 5/8 and the top hole to 9/16. You definitely want to verify that. Do not take my word and just start drilling holes in your frame. But from what I've gathered here from the bottom bolts, and taking a caliper to the diameter, that's what I've come up with. That's what I'm going to drill my frame as, and then the control arms bolt right in. So yeah, other than that, I think it's going to be a straightforward process. That's going to slop right in there. If anything doesn't go right, we'll bring you back. But we'll do a recap on this probably after we've driven it for a while and got the brakes seated in and tell you if we're happy with the brakes. But that's what we're doing. That's why we're doing it. And that's kind of the gotchas, if you will, on doing this. We did tear the rear end completely apart. We went all through it, checked every bearing, every race. Everything looked really good. The ring and pinion has a little bit of wear on it, but it's not enough that it bothers me. I'm going to guess that rear end probably has a couple 100,000 miles on it. I don't know if the bearings have been changed, but they look great. So we cleaned everything up. We re-lubricated everything. And when you do a full floating rear end, they'll tell you a couple different ways of doing it. What I like to do is I like to actually have the rear end on a jack right here in the floor, fill the pumpkin full of gear oil. I pick one side up so that, I'm about this far out of whack, and that side's sitting on the floor. I let the oil run to that hub, and I do the same on the other one, oil run to that hub, and then I refill the rear end. Because you have, on the full floating rear end, you have bearings out here that are lubricated by gear oil. And if you just put it together, the oil doesn't flow out there naturally. You have to either park it on a hill on both sides or do that. Just something to be aware of so you just don't take right off driving and burn the bearings out of it. The 03 rear rotors have the same inside diameter parking brake drum, so they slide right on over the parking brakes. That's a great time to redo the parking brakes if they need to be. In this case, they look great. And yeah, I think that's it. Can you think of anything we're missing?
Don't forget to have an excellent shop supervisor.
Yes, it definitely takes some help. He's really good at making sure there's no lizards that are going to attack me in the shop while we're working. But yeah, it's I don't know, 8 o'clock in the morning. It's already about 85 degrees out. The humidity is about 322%. And as you can see, I'm already sweating and I haven't even done anything. So we're going to crank that bad boy down to about 65. And we're going to crank up the tunes and we're going to get this done. But we just kind of wanted to bring you along, show you what we're doing, and show you some of the little things you may run into, because we actually thought these would just drop right in. We assumed there was absolutely no difference in the front end. And then I started looking and I started reading, and people are talking about different control arms and different sway bars. I'm like, oh, this is a little bit more involved. So we decided to just knock this out. And yes, we're going on a 1,600-mile road trip in less than 7 days. So why wouldn't we tear the front end out of the tow truck before we head on our road trip? So thanks for watching, guys. We'll bring you back for a recap when we get to Maine and tell you how all this performed and if we're happy with our investment. Any questions, leave them down below.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.